Hello, today I am Kai in the Pathfinder group. We had a pretty interesting night. Started our descent into the sewers.
Okay, so here's the story about what happened. Maybe, I don't really know.
We started our journey going through this doorway into, well, it wasn't really a doorway, mainly just this passageway into a waterway under the city.
We walked down there and walked into a room that had the carriage and the horses, but no one to be found.
As to be expected. And then we, guess, went up the corridor, so deeper into the dungeon sewer thing. And then apparently there were stones. I don't know, I kind of blacked out for a bit.
Then we find some weird stones just laying in a line across the corridor. I pick one up, and it gave this really heavy feeling to it. It's weird, but I keep walking, but I still feel this weird heaviness, which was weird, even though I gave the stone away.
We walked further and found this room where looked like at the end of the hallway there was this door, so we obviously had to go through this door. There were like scratch marks around the floor in front of it, so that was a little weird.
I saw a door. I was like, oh well, just go up, open it.
Walked forward and is like, hey guys, I'm gonna go open the door. And I'm like, this is obviously going to be a trap. I mean, come on.
When Ura went to go open the door, the floor just kind of collapsed, like 15 feet or so actually just dropped down. And so it was Ura and Kai that fell.
And a giant spider and a skeleton appear. I get stuck with web. Ugh.
This big skeleton and I really had this showdown going on, I tell you what. He hit me, I hit him. He hit me more than I hit him.
So Sauter and I are up there and we're not really sure what's going on. So I tie a rope to an end of these bars that were on the side of the door that we came into, and then I lowered it down to the bottom, but nobody got on it. So I was like, okay, I'll summon a dire rat down there, and because I heard fighting, and so I'm like, okay, there's something going on.
Even Celeste, when she went to jump down, she jumped down instead of going down the rope, which is stupid.
And I know, you're probably thinking, why didn't you just lower yourself down on the rope? I don't know, I wanted to jump into the pit, and so I jump in the pit, and I end up landing right on Kai, and at this point in time, she has a broken collarbone, because she had been fighting with a skeleton.
But Celeste healed me up a little bit, and in the end, it was I who triumphed. I gave a ravaging slash to the C-spine of this particular skeleton, and severed his head, well, I guess his skull at this point, from the rest of the spinal cord.
You know, that fight goes on, I'm just kind of sitting on top because they told me that I could, and I figured, well, if we have to come back up, then it's best if one of us is up here, the one that's not hurt, so they can lift up the injured.
We found a little staircase and that led us back up to our original point. And then Ura leapt over the crevice into the next hallway there, and he found a lever, and that let us go across. It's pretty great.
It was really strange because Sauter insisted on doing this weird dancey twirly thing to get across the space where the floor was gone earlier.
The floor came back, I didn't trust it, so I decided I was going to jump into the room as well, and I did the best jump that I've ever done. It was a nice like triple axel, just elegant leap into the room. Best jump I've ever done. I will never be able to do it again.
We got to a room with a statue of a jester, and it had a riddle on it for us.
Those who build it do not need it.
Whoever buys it will not use it.
And who uses it cannot see or nor feel it. What is it?
I'm not a riddle person. I was just like, riddle, huh?
If you say the right answer, the wrong passageway will be shut. And if you say the wrong answer, the right passageway will be shut. So basically, we're like, we better not screw this up.
I decided to use a magical token and pray to my god. And Kalessa's book of religious history fell out of her bag and flipped right to a page about burials and coffins.
So we said it's a coffin. This was after a long discussion.
So the Joker statue moved and blocked the wrong path, and we just kept going through the corridor. Really crappy part. Got to the end of it.
This was the worst part. You could tell that both of the passages went to the same room. So no matter if we got it right or wrong, we still would have gotten there.
The thieves kind of duped us, or the smugglers duped us by making us waste a lot of time on a riddle.
As I'm going, finally reach another door. Like, what's gonna be in here? But I open the door and then I look around and then I see all these people.
We saw people that helped us unload the barrels of apples. So we're like, okay, we finally found these guys. Maybe Dillette will be here.
Me and Kai take the high ground. We go up this like weird set of stairs. It's like a 10-foot gap from the top to the bottom. And we sneak over to this guy everyone's on the bottom floor and it's just me and Kai up top.
We sneak in and I think Solder and Kai get on top of a bookshelf and then they knock it over and Kai shoots a bunch of arrows at a guy.
And so after a couple seconds, we've been spotted by one of the guys sitting at a table. He ends up flipping over the table, uses it as a shield type thing. And so what I do is, there's a bookshelf like 2 feet below where we are. So I step down like with 1 foot on it and I thrust my weight into it so it falls over, and then I quickly get back up on the ledge. And the bookshelf falls right next to a guy.
Solder pushes a bookcase down on someone. Very obvious, it's like the bookcase is not right behind the person and he pushes it down and he's like, oh, I thought that would get him. And it's just like, no, it didn't look like it.
Just, stunning him, putting him on his back. And what I decide to do next is actually really cool. Take my rapier and I just leap off, because apparently that's my secret skill, is I'm really good at jumping and stabbing things. So I do that, I jump off, and I just downward thrust into the guy, and now he's impaled on the ground.
And I smashed someone with a hammer and dislocated their shoulder. And I think near the end, Solder even got knocked out for a while. Oops.
We tried to be stealthy and stuff, and we came upon some common, not so good people. We beat them up pretty bad. A few of them ran away. We kind of got beat up pretty bad too.
And before leaving, I found a weird gold chain with a mummified hand on it. So I'm interested to see what that is. I went ahead and brought it with me. It's probably cursed, I'm probably gonna die. But I feel like, that's not really up to me.
Then we found this weird paper that had this weird writing on it. Of course, none of us can read it, so...
However, once I get my spells ready for the next day, I'll be able to understand it. So, that is it. That's all. That's all I got. I feel like the mummified hand is going to be cursed because I watched the first video, and the second, and the third. Explicitly when my GM told me not to. I regret nothing.
Hi, you guys haven't seen me before. I'm behind the scenes. I'm a concept co-GM with this Pathfinder group, and my name is Bailey. I was looking at the microphone when I was talking. It was really great to be a part of the experience today, and I'm happy that I get to be interviewed.
That's all you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Nice.